Hi, welcome back to Piston Broke with Matt and Jim. But today it's Piston Broke with Matt and Finn, as my son and I, we've decided to take a day out at one of the local car shows. I'm really excited to have a look around here. The Oldtimmer scene is a little bit different to the sort of the classic car shows that you get in the UK, but I'm really excited to have a look around. Should we go?
Yeah.
Let's go. One of the great things about the venue of the Weder Classics is that it's in a Christmas tree farm. So later on in the year, you can come here and cut your Christmas trees down. But today, it's all about the car. So some of the interesting cars that you see when you come to a German car show are the East German cars, or the DDR cars. This is a Wartburg, which was built in the old BMW factory, which after the war fell into the Russian sector and was taken over. So all throughout the East German period of time, up until 1990, when Germany was reunified, Wartburgs were made. We often hear a lot about Trabants, which are sort of the now iconic East German car, but Wartburgs certainly were an alternative choice, and they actually did export them to the United Kingdom. So here, lovely example of a Toyota Celica convertible. Don't see many of these around. One of the things I love about coming to old car shows is discovering new things, like this Fiat 850 Sport Spider. Never seen one before. I think it's just absolutely wonderful. It's from 1971. It's only 50 horsepower, but I bet it's a lovely little ride. Something that I would definitely try and keep my eye out, see if I see any more. Lovely. One of the really great things about registering your car in Germany is that you have a free choice of letters and numbers, and you can actually start to personalize your car for very little expense. You know you're getting old when you go to a classic car show and you see the cars that you used to lust after as a teenager. Oh dear, time for Horlicks in bed, I think. By the look at the expression on this donkey, he clearly has a British Leyland car, and he spent most of his life trying to get it to work. Poor sod. I had to come and have a look at this, as it reminds me of my old Tamiya remote control car, the Monster Beetle. Here's an earlier Wartburg. This one, I think, much nicer on the eye than the one we saw earlier. Those of you who remembered the Grand Tour with Jeremy Clarkson, where he drove one of these. This one doesn't have the chandeliers though, which is a shame. When we came into the show, we saw one of the Go-Go mobiles, which was from Bavaria. They were made from the glass factory from the 1950s, late 40s, early 50s, alongside the Messerschmitts and the Isottas from the bubble cars. We always love seeing a British car at a German car show. You always have a good old chuckle about the trouble and strife that is British Leyland and build quality. Obviously, at this time we were knocking out Friday specials when the Germans were working on the Mark I Golf. I know which one I'd rather look at and drive, but when it comes to the workshop diaries, it might be easier having a German car. But then, where's the fun in never cutting yourself and bleeding? Lovely Opel GT from 1970. In a bit. Cheers. Another unusual car that you see in some of the shows is a Borgward Isabella. This was a company that was really, really important in the German car industry up until sort of the mid-50s, early 60s, when unfortunately BMW, Mercedes, they kind of ganged up on it and forced it out of business. They came out of Bremen. Borgward, really classic car. A friend of mine had one for their wedding car. So it's close to my heart. I'm not quite sure what the collective noun for a group of larders is. Maybe a smoke or a slick of larders. Lovely example of a Renault 4. And of course, Renault started manufacturing again with the all-electric new Renault 4, which will be out shortly. Lovely old Ford Bronco here. Really cool colour as well. Shame it's not got the doors taken off for the show. So, some of you might recognise the four rings of Audi, but many years ago, it was actually Auto Union, which was one of the German manufacturers, big in the 1930s with the Grand Prix. I'll be honest with you, other than reading the badges and knowing a little bit about the history of Auto Union, I can't tell you much more about it, but a fantastic example of one of the brands which sadly isn't with us, but lives on to this day through Audi. A little bit later, I managed to speak with the owner, and he told me that this is a Auto Union DKV IFA from 1951. So I've learned something new today. Okay, so that was a fantastic day out at the Weder Classics 2025. But as ever, thank you ever so much for your time. Please like and comment below if there are any other car shows in Germany that you think I should visit too. But otherwise, thanks ever so much for your time, and we'll be back later on.